But anyway, enough about that. How was your week?
Well, first of all, I want to say that this is a very special podcast because not only do you have the lovely Mike and myself, but also here are these little toys that just came in the mail. I actually had a mail call today. I ordered these two little figures. The series they're called is called Animation Collector Pack, and you guys can look these up if you want. I got them on Amazon, but it's basically, like Adult Swim or like Fox animated shows. So we got like, there's Stan from American Dad. There's like all the Bob's Burgers characters. And these are like, they're about the size of Amiibo. So like 2 to 3 inch, like little minifigures. But the two that I got, I went with my boy Peter Griffin because I think it's hilarious. I'm holding him right now. He's literally like the size of an Amiibo. Like, that's how big these are. And I also got my boy Hank Hill.
I was about to say, the first one that popped up on Google was Hank Hill, and it's hysterical looking.
Yeah, there's a couple, because I have the boxes in front of me.
Tank with him too.
He does, yeah. And I think he has a little beer can. Yeah, he does got the beer can there. And they're actually really cool. They're quite posable. I love them. They're going to go on my shelf with all my like video game and anime figures. I thought that it'd be funny just incorporating them somewhere around there. I might buy more of these, too. They're actually really nice.
That's funny.
And they're not that expensive. They're like $12 or something like that. But
yeah.
So they're hilarious. I might post these on my Instagram just to show them off because I think they're funny.
I would. I think they're pretty hysterical. But they're cool though, yeah. Because especially if like you like those characters, it's just like an Amiibo. You like the characters, so you want to have.
Yeah.
Or just figures are fun. Yeah.
And they're just silly. I like I said, I think it'll be funny just like putting Hank Hill next to like my big like Yoko from Gurren Lagann, who is this thick anime chick. My Hank Hill just fell. I gotta get him.
I call it Gurren Lagann, but I love that anime. It's actually one of the very few that I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got I bought it's like I don't know what the official name is, but there's like a really nice like probably almost like 1.5 feet or something like Yoko statue where like the Gurren Lagann mech is holding her. And she has like a little bit of her sniper, and then the like mole is like pulling her top off a little bit. Yeah, it's a little seductive. And then I think it was 2 years ago. My friends actually got me this really nice Kamina statue where he has like his katana and his glasses. It's really cool. I don't know if it's made by the same company that made the Yoko, but I love them. And
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to know that you're also a Gurren Lagann. I mean, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I've always called it Gurren Lagann. Or Gurren Lagann.
I think it's either or. I don't know what the official name is, but yeah, that is my second favorite anime.
All right, awesome. Because that was like, I'm not. I like anime, but I'm very skeptical with a lot of them. But that's one that I really enjoyed. So I'm very pleased to hear that you're also a fan of it.
That opening, Kimi wa kito helu oh no. I'm not gonna do the whole thing.
Oh, you better. All right.
That's for another podcast.
Next podcast, and those better be the first words I hear when I say, "Hey, Corey, what's up?" And I just hear the theme song going.
Funny enough, that actually makes me think of there's this one rhythm game. It's called Jew Beat. It's essentially like DDR but with your fingers. It's a 4x4, like you touch the buttons or you like slide them, and they actually have the Gurren Lagann intro as one of the songs, and it's super hype. Like playing it, like Keem, it's amazing. Also, I'm pretty sure you can sing that in karaoke. Pretty much any popular anime intro, you can just go hard on karaoke. I never did karaoke. Did you ever karaoke?
No, I've had the option to do it, and I kind of just said no, thank you, because I don't have a good voice, so I know it's basically just supposed to be funny. Like, the whole point of karaoke is that like no one's good at singing, so that's why you do it. If someone who's actually really good, like if a good singer or a good vocalist, whatever, does karaoke, it's like boring. Like, okay, like sit down. We know you're good. Get someone up here who's terrible. It's funny that way,
Yeah.
I'm one of the terrible people.
I am also just nervous, but I would like to do it at some point because it's like, none of us are professionals. Just go out there, get some drinks in you and just
Yeah, especially if it's a song that you love, like a song. I think it'd be great to do karaoke for a song that you know by heart. Like, you don't even need the TV screen in front of you showing you the lyrics. You can just do it on your own. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Obviously, now that I think about it, the closest thing I've ever done to karaoke is probably Rock Band, the video game.
Oh yeah.
Like when you can sing with that, that's probably the closest.
Yeah,
and I've done
fun.
I've done it like in front of people, like and no one likes doing the singing part. It's like karaoke, so that's probably the closest thing I've ever done to karaoke.
So I just noticed that with these little figures I got, they come with like cards, and the cards actually have a description of the character. Is it okay if I read Hank Hill's real quick?
No, please indulge me.
Okay, it's pretty funny. Hank Hill is a traditional American, passionate about his hobbies, sports, woodworking, construction, and grilling. He is an assistant manager at Strickland Propane, where he works hard to sell propane and propane. Of course, they had to put that there.
They better.
That's funny. I'm actually going to keep these. I was going to throw these away, but that's pretty funny. I'll go with my collection of like 4 Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I still have.
Can I ask you which 4 Yu-Gi-Oh cards you still have?
Well, let me open my drawer because I think I mentioned this a few podcasts ago and never teased it. I have a couple cards in here. I kept a few of my cards that I would use as like tokens. Like I have Kingdom Hearts cards because there was a Kingdom Hearts card game. Oh, as well as Naruto cards. I have 5 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You can ask away. If you want to take a guess, at least to one of them.
I can definitely say, because I know you, well, at least I think I know you, and I know your love of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I can probably try to guess the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. As far as like if you want me to guess the Kingdom Hearts cards, I probably can't do that.
Oh, no, I just have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can give you hints if you want, because they are random and there's like a bajillion Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards.
I think I might know, because I think I know. I think I can probably name some of your favorites. And all right, so there's 5 of them. You said, right?
Yeah, I actually think I told you one week, but
I think you. It's funny. I'm pretty sure you did, and I don't know if I remember off the top of my head. All right, I'm just gonna name the 5 cards, and then you can tell me if I'm right
go for it.
All right. So one is Infernity Archfiend. Okay. Another one is Evil Swarm Ophion. Okay. Another one is an Abyss Megalo, the Mermail Abyss Megalo. And I'm going to just randomly say the other ones are Barrel Dragon and a Dark Magician. I don't know which one, but just a Dark Magician and a Barrel Dragon.
God, Mike, you have such better cards. I wish I had like half of those cards, except Dark Magician. I'm not a big fan of Dark Magician. I like Blue Eyes way more. Dark Magician's cool though, but I would I would like to have most of those cards you mentioned and like the original Blue Eyes, like the one from the Kaiba like first structure deck. But anyways,
they're expensive now.
Yeah, you're right. The cards I do have here, so I'll start with the first 2, which are joke cards. And I don't know if you remember this because I used to have a whole page of them, but Water Spirit, I used to. Yeah.
I remember on your channel, that was like your little avatar for your...
Yeah. Yeah, because he's disgusting looking. He's so gross, but he's so happy to be alive.
I remember you said he was so cute, and I'm like, I don't know.
No, he's gross cute. Also, I have a Frog the Jam, like an original one.
All right.
And then the other 3 cards, I mean, you were close with one of them. I don't have Archfiend, but I have an Infernity Launcher. Okay.
That's basically the centerpiece of the deck, so that's pretty cool.
One of my first meta decks I ever built, Wind-Ups, right when Crossroads of Chaos, is that the set with, like, Insectors?
Order of Chaos.
There we go, yeah. So when Insectors and Wind-Ups became a thing, but I have a Ultimate Rare First Edition Wind-Up Zen Matey. I thought that was cool.
That's pretty cool.
And then the last card, which was the one I told you before, 5-Headed Dragon. I just like 5-Headed.
That's right, from the Dinosaur Structure deck.
Yep.
Did mention that.
Yeah, that's just one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, they were. That's pretty cool, though. I should
get more. I should have an Ophion. I would also like a Dante. I loved Burning Abyss.
Yeah, I didn't even think Burning Abyss.
I should get more. Yeah, I should get more. But it's good guesses. Good guesses.
Yeah, thank you.
So you asked me like at the beginning of this podcast, what did I do with my week? I let me go into that first. So I don't remember if I mentioned this anywhere, but I took a trip to Ohio this weekend. So I live in Pennsylvania. I think I might have mentioned that before. So a trip from PA to Ohio, you're looking at about, like, where I'm from, it's about 7 hours. So me and my girlfriend left on Friday around, like, 3 p.m. So we're pretty much, we knew we were going to be on the road until, like, late at night. And the road trip was good. I do want to point out one billboard that we saw multiple times of this woman who looks like the absolute most Karen I've ever seen. And all the billboard is like, don't blame me, I didn't vote for our governor, which it's something Wolf, right?
Tom Wolf.
Tom Wolf, yeah, the governor of Pennsylvania. But that's all this billboard is.
Yes.
I don't even think there's a link to like a website or anything. And it's just her kind of like shrugging with her arms up, like, And
sounds like a Karen to me.
We saw probably at least like 8 of those. And I'm talking, going there and coming back. And we're just like, isn't it nice to just have that much disposable income that you can make a billboard like that? Cool, Karen. Nice. Cool.
I wish I had that kind of income just to blow on billboards.
Other than that, not really much to talk about on the road. Nice scenic drive. We ended up going through West Virginia, and I was, of course, singing Country Roads and making Fallout 76 jokes. Anyways, though, got to Ohio. I actually really enjoyed it. Our Airbnb was a little sketchy. It was kind of in... So, we did get there late. I think it was like 11 around when we got there, like p.m., and it was dark out, and it was kind of in like a city-ish area. And actually where we had to park for our Airbnb was in this really tight back alleyway. And there were a bunch of there were a couple like broken down cars. There were a lot of trash cans. The plants were a little overgrown. And we're like, oh, this is kind of like not the place you want to be in. We really need to find our Airbnb. Luckily,
it sounds like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre area.
Yes. No street lights. It was bad, but we did find our Airbnb. Weirdly enough, we had to park like right in the alleyway, like just off to the side a little bit. I was worried my car was going to get hit the whole weekend. Luckily it didn't. But it was actually a pretty cool like Airbnb, and also in the area we stayed at, it was neat because the roads were all like brick, and I was actually like looking at the bricks as I was in Ohio because they all have like little insignias on them, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, even though we're in like kind of a sketchy area. But we had no problems there. We only stayed like a couple days. Me and my girlfriend just went up there because it was like one of her best friend's bridal showers. She wanted to surprise her. It was great. Then I hung out with them. We all had a good time. We played board games. We looked at each other's Animal Crossing islands. It was great. We had a good time.
Yeah, very neat.
Also, if any of you are familiar, there's this really weird thing in Columbus, Ohio, where there's this field of these giant cement corns that are like 6 feet tall, and there's like 50 of them. And I think someone on TikTok or Vine or someone like blew this spot up. It's just random. It's like an art piece. Me and my girlfriend went there.
Cement corn, like a stalk of corn.
Yeah, like a corn on the cob. There's like 50 of them, and yeah, they're like 6 feet or 7 feet tall. It's very odd.
Sounds pretty corny to me.
Yeah, I got plenty of pictures.
You missed my lame joke.
I just glazed over it. I was sad being there though a little bit because we're still in the midst of this like pandemic, and I was Googling stuff on my map to see like what to do because I thought I was gonna have more free time than I did, and I looked up a bunch of cool arcades and like used video game stores, but I unfortunately didn't really get a lot of time to go explore that kind of stuff. I did eat some good food. I had good breakfast. I had good ice cream, and we went to this good like pastry place our last day there. I had a good trip, and I feel like me and my girlfriend really had a good time because speaking of the pandemic, we really didn't get to do like a proper like little trip with just us in a long time. So we really enjoyed the bonding, even just the car ride. Like we both had a good time. So yeah, I had a pretty fun weekend in Columbus, Ohio. I also liked Columbus, Ohio. It was the first time I was ever there. It was nice. I will say a lot of people weren't wearing masks there, which was a little alarming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really go anywhere because I've just been working, especially the last couple of weeks. I've just been working and getting ready for the move. And I've been hearing a lot about people like going around the country, whether they're traveling or going like even to the beach. And people are telling me that like about like 60 to 75% of people are just not wearing masks anymore. And I'm not even one of the. I'm not like one of those. I guess to coin a funny term that you just said, the Karen. I don't mean to sound like a Karen, but I mean I do feel like you probably should be wearing the mask, especially like if you're in public.
I agree.
I really don't. I personally don't care. I wear the mask just to be courteous to everyone, to other people, but like it is kind of like I guess alarming is or like shocking to be like, wow, people really just don't care anymore. They're just not wearing the masks. I mean, the mask obviously it's only so effective though. Like I think they said like the effectiveness rate of like even the best like unless you're wearing like a hazmat suit, like the masks only really offer like a 30% additional protection or something like that.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. Like I get why they want you to wear them. Like I understand why it's a rule, but
I do think it does help, and I think
it does.
We've been seeing a lot of spikes recently, and I think that could maybe have something to do with it. I don't know. It could be also what you said, where more people are traveling. It's a summer. People go on vacations.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because people were starting to act like a couple weeks ago, like when these the increase in cases was starting to begin. People were acting like, oh, like so is this all just out of nowhere, like all a big lie? And I'm like, well, again, I don't mean to be like a conspiracy god, but technically it was about 2 weeks after Memorial Day weekend where people were just going outside and stuff and not going to the beach, going to the boardwalk, going on vacation, and so I can understand why the cases are starting to go up. It just kind of goes. It makes sense of why the cases are starting to go up. We're starting to increase because like it's summertime. People are sick and tired of being in the house, so naturally there's just more people outside and congregating. So,
but other than that, that was pretty much like what I did. Do you have anything to add to moving? You're all fully moved in now, right?
Yeah, Amanda still has a couple pieces of furniture to move over, but like it's probably just some stuff out of her bedroom. But for the most part, the house is I guess it's finished. Like the move is finished because we have the bed set up, we have like the kitchen's all set up, the living room's all set up, the basement right now is still like storage because we have a bunch of cardboard boxes that we want to get rid of, and apparently this week they are not collecting recyclables. So right now the basement's kind of just full of empty cardboard boxes that I'm like trying to like break down and fold up just that way it saves some space. But for the most part, the house is like if you walk into the house, it looks like a home, and that's kind of like what we were really happy about Saturday night when we sat down. We're like, yeah, this actually feels like a home. It's not like you walk into the house and you get the impression like, oh yeah, these people just moved here. They have to unbox stuff. Like it actually looks really nice, and I'm very happy with the way it's turning out.
Good to hear.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, definitely still a few. We still have some more boxes to unload because we haven't purchased a new bedroom set, so our clothes are technically still like in like the small little plastic like armoire things you can buy at like a Target and stuff. And we have some totes laying around. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, just like a few boxes here and there. But overall, we're all moved in, and it's very exciting. So now we get to do some of the household projects. We're already starting to tear up some of the floorboards and replace the floor is fine. We just want to maybe like begin putting in like a nice fresh layer of a hardwood floor.
Is that like the only project that you're gonna have, or is there other things that you're gonna work on?
Like small home. Well, long term, yeah, we definitely have a couple of ideas. Like we want to install like an island in the kitchen, but like right now, yeah, which would be really nice. But right now, we're kind of just doing like the floor. Basically, I'm not tearing the floor up this week. It's more like I'm just tearing up the quarter round that surrounds the. It's kind of like the molding, like where the floor and the wall meet. So I tore that up. Amanda spackled all the walls where like there were like holes from nails in the walls, like from pictures and everything. So that's been done, and we're gonna paint the bedroom, paint the living room at some point. But that's like that's the easy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like long term, yeah, we might would have put in like new countertops. The island would be really nice, and then maybe doing like the floors as well, because we want to just. No, I mean the floors again, they're nice and they're perfectly fine, but it's obviously that they're old, and so we kind of just want to replace them with them,
right?
Like a nice new. nice new layer.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations. It must feel really good to actually have a home now. I know when you move in, like that first like sleep in your home, it's just like yes, it feels right.
It did. It's very satisfying because it's one of those things. Like in retrospect, I wish I bought a house years ago. Like even like before I met Amanda. Not to say like I wish I not to like say anything against her. It's more just like I just wish I didn't rent this long. I wish I bought a house like just like years ago because when I do the math to see how much money I put towards rent, it kind of just makes me like shake my head and think, man, imagine if I just bought a house, all of that would have been going towards something that I own. Like it's just something that like you learn or you feel as you get older. Like it's kind of like a maturity thing or just like a life experience thing where you're like, man, like I wish like renting is just. It's practical. That's why I did it, and I'm sure that's why you're doing it. That's why you rent your apartment. Like it's practical to have the apartment, but then like then you just realize like, man, like you really want to own equity in real estate. It's just so good to do because then obviously you eventually in a couple of years you sell the house, you potentially make more money out of it. Like that's just the whole process. So now I'm like I'm all about it. Like I personally just mentally right now I just hate renting anything.
I get it. Yeah, I've honestly been really thinking about like what our next step is. Like, I don't want to stay in this apartment forever. I don't know if that's get a house, rent a house. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We might just even move into a different apartment at some point. For us, it's just like the area we live in. Like, I think we have a lot of space, but it's just we're so far away from everything. If we want to go to like a Target or something like that, that's like a good like 20, 30-minute drive. I mean, even my job is like 30 minutes away, which, if you drive 30 minutes there and back, like that's like an hour driving, and that's like a lot of gas you could use. So maybe trying to find something closer, or I don't know, maybe just even getting a different job. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I don't really have any long-term plans. And we haven't even been here too long. It's only been like, it'll be 2 years in October.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, not to make you feel like you have to.
Right.
Leave.
Yeah.
Just thinking, like like in the long term, I feel like once you do make the decision to buy a house, you'll feel very, very accomplished. Is all I'm saying.
I bless that you don't lose anything in the move, even though I think you always lose one thing.
Oh, I don't think we've lost anything.
Until you go looking for that one thing, and you're like, oh no.
Great, now I'm paranoid.
Where did I put my spatula?
Not the golden spatula.
All right, let's start this up.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Level With Me podcast. This is episode 55. You're joined once again by both of us being me, Game Bro Corey, hi, and then Mike, a.k.a. The Collector's Ult. How's it going, Mike?
It's going pretty good, Corey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Level With Me podcast. I do want to apologize for anybody who even knows who I am and does follow me on any form of social media, whether that be like Instagram and YouTube. I've been, as I'm sure as we have mentioned in this episode, and I'm sure in a couple of previous episodes, I've been in the middle of moving, and we are now moved in, and I am ready to be back to making videos and chatting up with my buddy Corey. So I'm happy to be here.
That was one of the reasons why the podcast was delayed. I think I did post about that on Instagram and Twitter, but yeah. They're not moving to Wednesday. I think the last one was recorded on Wednesday too, but that was my bad. They'll be on Monday following this one, if everything's going according to plan. Right,
yeah. So it was all my fault. I just, life happens.
Yeah, how dare you move into an apartment or your new home?
Yeah, how dare I progress my life? How dare I?
We got a couple news stories here. Quite a few, actually. It's been a whole week. The news cycle is just constantly flowing. And I think we should get right into it. So we have a couple stories here, not really relating to video games. Kind of a little bit, but this first one definitely isn't. But I just wanted to briefly touch upon it. Disney. You heard about them? This little company called Disney?
I think so. I think I've heard of him.
Disney to replace Splash Mountain with Princess and the Frog attraction. The fan petition worked. Disney announced Thursday that the Disneyland and Disney World theme park attraction Splash Mountain will soon be completely reimagined as a new attraction based on the animated film The Princess and the Frog. We pick up this story after the final kiss and join Princess Tiana and Louis on a musical adventure featuring some of the powerful music from the film as they prepare for their first ever Mardi Gras performance, Disney said. In the announcement, Disney explained the approach to retheming or plussing attractions, as Walt Disney referred to it, begins with Imagineers asking the question, how can we build upon or elevate the experience and tell a fresh, relevant story? It's a continuous process that Imagineers are deeply passionate about, and with the long-standing history of updating attractions and adding new music, the retheming of Splash Mountain is of particular importance today. The new concept is inclusive, one that all of our guests can connect with and be inspired by, and it speaks to the diversity of millions of people who visit our parks every year. I just want to say, first of all, I think it's kind of neat that they're saying this could be completely reimagined. I don't know if that means they're necessarily going to make a new type of ride. I assume it's still going to be like that log plume type ride. Yeah, or whatever it's called. Do you have any sort of feelings about this, Mike? Like, do you think this is a good thing? Are you sad they're kind of like getting rid of, like, changing the classic Splash Mountain theming? Or are you like for it? You're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I like, you know.
Well, I guess I feel both ways because number one, I definitely think it's kind of like a shame that they're like a rate. Like I don't want to use the word erasing, but it's kind of like they're like a Splash Mountain has been around in Disney World for so long. But is it Disney World or Disneyland?
It's both.
Disney.
There's one in both of them.
Okay, gotcha. Well, anyway, but yeah, so Splash Mountain, I never really knew who the characters were. I'm guessing they were just like an old Disney cartoon with that like Brr Rabbit and Brr Bear, Brr Fox. Like even their names are weird. It was just like a very like Southern hick like cartoon that I never knew of. I only knew them from the ride. So I think it's a shame because people. That's probably one of the only things that really keeps that old cartoon alive. And I might have to Google it. I'm not even sure if that even is like a Disney cartoon. I just kind of assumed it was. Like I just assumed it was an old Disney cartoon I never heard of. And,
well, Mike, you're in for a treat here. So, first of all, I just want to tell everyone the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm kind of a closet Disney theme park junkie. I always like seeing when Disney announces like new rides being built or things like this interest me. So I know it's not really related to video games, but I just wanted to bring it up because I thought, I don't know, it's something interesting to talk about. But to your point, the theming of the original Splash Mountain was based on a movie called Song of the South. This was made by Disney, I believe, in the 50s or 60s, maybe even the 70s. But it's about I think, a few kids. I don't know all the context to it. I've never seen the film. The only thing I know, which is why I think this got really pushed, especially in times like today, is that it does feature a African American who is essentially like a slave because it's set during, I think, the 40s or 50s. Whenever
like
there were
the 1840s.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the South, and it's kind of like Mary Poppins, where it cuts between like live action and animated.
Cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And I don't know I don't know anything about the movie other than that. I've never watched it, but yeah, just a little bit of knowledge for anyone who wants to look into that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'll have to look it up later. The Song of the South. Well, that being said, and I would have to agree with you that at times like these, they probably would find this to be a little bit inappropriate. So maybe that is why they're trying to remove it. Now, my second point is going to be that I do find it really cool that they're going to be reimagining this as a Princess and the Frog attraction because I think that's a really good movie. Actually, it's funny.
I agree.
I first saw that movie like maybe about 2 years ago. I put it off way too long, and I wanted to say that I love the animation style of that movie because it was made. I mean, it was made like in 2008, I think, or I gotta go on Google now.
It might be earlier than that. It was one of the last 2D animated Disney movies.
Right, but I love the animation style so much.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I loved how we've been watching. I'm like, wow, this just reminds me of like an old school Disney movie. Let's see, 2009. Okay, so Okay. But even so, even for 2009, it was like, Disney kind of like, just migrated away from the 2D animated cartoon style. Like, I mean, you can tell the quality was obviously there, but like, that style just hasn't really been prominent. Like now they're working more on like,
Pixar and 3D animation stuff like Frozen or Moana.
Yeah, exactly. Like whether it's Pixar or it's Disney Animation Studios, like it's all CGI and stuff, which is great. I love the way those look too. But I do appreciate seeing like the old school cartoon style. So and also it was just an overall good movie. So that's kind of cool that they're finally going to give like an actual attraction for this movie. So that way it's not. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm assuming you'll see Princess Tiana walking around somewhere, but now it's like, okay, cool. This kind of will resemble the south of the United States, the bayou setting, just to kind of give Princess Tiana and the movie The Princess and the Frog a sense of place in Disney World, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. And just to give my 2 cents on this, I'm all for this. I love Princess and the Frog. Like you, I only saw it maybe like 5 or 6 years. I think it had to be at least within 5 years from now because I think my girlfriend showed it to me. But yeah, it's an excellent film. If any of you have Disney Plus, go watch this movie. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what this ride is going to look like, reimagined with this in mind. Granted, who knows when it's going to be done? I'm sure it's going to take them a while to create this thing, but yeah, I'm super excited. This is really cool.
Yeah. I especially like that like Mardi Gras like music. Like
yes.
So that's gonna be really cool because like, if I remember correctly, like the music from the current Splash Mountain was very like again very Southern hicky like Southern hick style with like the banjos and everything. And there's banjos in this style too, but I think the Mardi Gras like more upbeat music will be kind of fun for the ride. I don't know, we'll see.
And I feel like Princess and the Frog has really good like different color themes going on. There's a lot of good like greens and blues and like oranges and yellows. Then you have like the main villain who's like this witch doctor voodoo guy who's got like nice like purples and like dark like colors. Like he's really like, cool.
Yeah, he was a great villain. And Dr. Foussier, it's like French, like Foussier or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, and even like the voodoo theme with like the tikis and everything, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm actually getting reminded of the Little Mermaid ride.
Oh yes, that one's really good.
Yeah, I don't know why that popped in my head. I guess I'm kind of maybe seeing like some parallels where they can have it like maybe resemble that.
Yeah, the animatronics will probably be similar.
I was gonna say, you know what? I really am because I'm an engineer and I love engineering nerdy stuff like that. Is the Disney Imagineer team, like that's their engineering team, the Imagineering team. Like their new animatronics are insane because they don't actually have like robotic faces. It's a screen that projects a face. I don't know if you saw it.
You're right.
And they look so good. Like when Amanda and I were in Disney about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, a year and a half ago. And I remember like one of the latest rides that used that was the Frozen ride in Epcot, and it was cool because like obviously you can tell it's an animatronic because the way the face is projecting a cartoon face at any angle, it looks like it was Elsa and Anna. It
looks so real.
Yeah, so like I'm assuming they'll probably do something similar with this. So it'll be like I'm sure a state of the art ride. So that's very exciting. Whoops, I hit the camera or hit the microphone. But yeah, I think that's very exciting for them to be doing this.
Indeed. And speaking of animated series, keeping on topic here, there was some more, or the first teaser for that Cuphead animated series coming on Netflix. Netflix uploaded this a few days ago. I'm kind of just gonna watch the little video they uploaded. It's kind of like a behind the scenes, like people drawing the backgrounds and the like characters, and there's a little bit of animation from the show that you can see. And it looks just like what you would think a Cuphead animated series would look like. Very smooth. That nice, like, 1940s or 50s animated style. It looks really cool. I'm excited. I don't really have much else to say about this.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I actually have yet to play the Cuphead games, so I really don't have, like, much of a familiarity with it. But I like how it has that very... It's funny, talk about Disney. This has a very, like, old, like 1920s and 1930s cartoon style, like the old school Disney style to it. So I'm pretty sure like it'd be interesting. I mean, I hear the game's very popular, so I mean, I'm sure this little
This
Netflix
will
series will be kind of fun.
this will also be very interesting because in the games like Cuphead and Mugman, they don't talk, but this will be like, you know, Cuphead and Mugman on Goofy Adventures, so they're all like fully voiced.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be fun for fans of the game. You know, people who. Oh, actually, you know what's funny? I was about to say something, and I'm sure it might be an article on this. So I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
But I did tease a bit of a teaser. I did hear of another video game that might be getting a series. So we'll. If it's not in this, if it's not in the upcoming articles, I definitely want to talk about it. But anyway,
that's fine. It might be our next story, not the one I'm going to talk about now, but following it.
Ooh,
anyways, speaking of more video game animated adaptations, The World Ends With You anime adaptation officially announced by Square Enix. Square Enix has revealed that The World Ends With You has become an anime project and is currently in the works. A newly created The World Ends With You, the animation Twitter account, notes that a full reveal of the project is coming during Anime Expo Light on Friday, July 3rd. Yeah, that's this Friday. I think this is really cool. I've actually never played The World Ends With You, but I love the style of it. It's made by Nomura, like the guy who made Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. So
okay.
I'm very interested to see what this is. I've always heard great things about The World Ends With You. So if they just essentially take the story beats from the game and make like a 8 to 12 episode anime about it, I'd be all for that. I am really interested in seeing that.
Nice.
Now, the next story here might be the one you were talking about. There's another anime adaptation of a popular video game coming out.
No, it's not this.
Okay, well then you cue your story up and let me read this one.
Are you sure? Oh, yeah, I mean,
just go find it and put it like in our notes, and then I'll tell you if I have it or don't. You know.
Okay.
And then yeah, or we'll just talk about it now. Anyways. Sorry, a little behind the scenes there. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, a Cyberpunk 2077 anime announced. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, an anime set in the universe of Cyberpunk 2077, has been announced for release on Netflix in 2022. Gosh, that's so far away. Announced during today's Night City Wire broadcast, that was a big Cyberpunk 2077 like reveal stream. Edge Runners will be set in the game's Night City, but will focus on different characters and with a different story. I think the most interesting part about this is it's being produced by Studio Trigger, and we actually mentioned one of their works earlier, Gurren Lagann. Trigger made Kill la Kill, and they also made Darling in the Franxx. So I'm a big Trigger fan. I love their work, so I'm immediately on board because I think Cyberpunk looks dope, and yeah, I like Trigger. So even though it's 2 years away, if not more, I'm all for this as well.
Interesting. Cool.
All right. Now, what was that story you wanted to bring up?
All right. Now I'm kind of scrambling here, trying to find like a good article.
That's
but basically,
That's fine.
I'll just let you look at this, and it's relevant because you are actually aware of you know what this this game is.
Gosh, I want to say I did bring this up before. So the article that Mike sent me here is that they're working on making a Last of Us TV series. HBO is working on making a Last of Us TV series. That's not technically new, but I mean, we could go through the article if you want me to.
I mean, if you want, I kind of like just skim. Was yesterday or today? I saw something on Facebook. And I can't name the actor. The guy who played Jaime Lannister on Game of Thrones.
Oh, cool.
Is supposed to play Joel.
Oh, yeah. I definitely see that.
I couldn't tell you who's supposed to play Ellie. But regardless, like I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's kind of I mean, that's kind of crazy, you know? I mean, like everyone always like theorizes about like, you know, all these let's make a movie out of this anime or let's make a movie out of this video game, you know, and usually those things just kind of fall apart. But
yeah.
I found this to be very interesting because, you know, it's a very popular game right now.
I think that's going to do really well. I'm a little bummed that if it's just going to focus on Joel and Ellie. I kind of would have liked to see maybe a different story because we kind of know how that ends. I think it'll be cool to just see that interpreted in live action. Like I think that'll be really cool. I do really like The Last of Us. I think at quick glance it might just look like though another like Walking Dead or zombie type live action series, but I mean if HBO is making it, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, because it's funny. I was thinking immediately, of The Walking Dead, but I mean, with HBO doing it, it might be more hardcore. Definitely, maybe similar to Game of Thrones, very gory.
Or even Breaking Bad.
Yeah. So something cool to think about.
I think it will be really interesting to see like a live action like clicker, like if they do like the full makeup with the like fungus on someone, like that'll look really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in many TV shows when they use CGI, like a lot, like for the most part, it can look pretty good. Like for example, Game of Thrones with some of their CGI,
yeah, the dragons and White Walkers,
yeah, the White Walkers and dragons look very good.
Yeah,
but in some cases, like The Walking Dead, they have a combination of both CGI and makeup. So I think if they get really good costume designers and makeup artists, they can really make a clicker look super real. You know. I'm sure you see those videos where they kind of like speed it up and it's like, look, here's an actual actor. Then like 3 hours later, after the makeup artists were applying all this crap to their face, it'll look like an actual zombie or something like that. So I can only imagine like if they were to do something like this and have really good makeup artists, they can probably make a clicker look super real, like terrifyingly real. You know.
You never played The Last of Us, right? The first one.
I only played parts of it with a friend. I never owned a PS3, so I couldn't actually own the game itself.
Gotcha.
I was praying for it to come to PC, but so yeah, I just played it with a friend, and I obviously watched a lot of Let's Plays of it because it was
right.
Because I wanted to see where the story goes.
I just was gonna say like I'm not ready to watch the beginning of The Last of Us, like the part before the apocalypse happens in live action, because it's very emotional.
Yeah, it's very, very intense scene, you know.
It'll make me cry again.
Yeah, I have to give Naughty Dog a lot of credit. Again, I'm play Last of Us Part 2, which I'm really enjoying. But even the original, like graphics were state of the art at the time, and man, like cinematic wise, like it really, like the characters didn't look like they were super realistic, but I think the animation wise, like how they moved, how they even like the faces, like nothing looked awkward. It looked they didn't look realistic, but it was just like it was believable. Like yes, these actually are people, and they like I guess it's kind of like an uncanny valley thing, where like the way that these video game characters portrayed real people was done so well that I really thought like Joel lost a daughter when I watched that scene. You know, it's very, very intense.
I agree. Also, oh shoot, I just had a point. I just lost it. I remembered it. I was gonna say, as I was playing like The Last of Us Part 2, I really did just think like during some of those cutscenes, I'm like, I just feel like I'm watching like a HBO series. So, you know, they're right there. They get it. Real quick, our last like movie/series story here. I thought this was just kind of weird. Fortnite to show Inception, Batman Begins, or The Prestige in its Party Royale mode, depending on your country. Depending on the country, Fortnite will be showing one of the 3 different Christopher Nolan films for movie night at Party Royale's big screen. Movie night at Party Royale's big screen will begin on June 26th, and Fortnite will air these films at different times, once again, depending on your country. I see it says begin, so I don't know if that's happening, if anyone out there wants to go see this. I just think that's really, really odd, and I kind of just wanted to point it out, like, that's a weird thing.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Fortnite, so like seeing this is like, oh yeah, it's like a movie night. I'd be like, okay.
Out of all those movies, I've only seen Batman Begins, Don't Attack Me. I probably should watch The Prestige and Inception. I won't watch them in Fortnite. I'll watch them on my TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's. I like the Batman Begins, like the whole Dark Knight series. Inception was pretty trippy. Like, it's definitely a interesting movie. It's confusing, I would say, for the first time viewer. The Prestige. I want to say I've seen that movie. Is that the one with Edward Norton and Paul Giamatti?
I feel like you're right.
No. That's The Illusionist. What is The Prestige?
The Prestige came out in 2006. It looks like it has Christian Bale in it.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Hugh Jackman, David Bowie, Scarlett Johansson. I'm just reading off the cast on Google.
Oh, okay, then I have not seen that movie yet. That's the one I have not seen.
Looks interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. We here at Level With Me, we will watch those movies not in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Nothing against Fortnite. It's just I don't want to watch a movie in a video game.
Yeah, and if you think that it is the right way to watch a movie, then you're just wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't even know what kind of quality it is. It might be like, what if it's just 480p?
The frame rate will drop, and you're like, what is happening?
What if you just get killed while you're trying to watch the movie? Like someone comes over there. And...
Wait, I don't play Fortnite, but like, is it like your little character with the over the shoulder view is going to have like popcorn sitting like on the couch watching a movie? That's it.
You got me, Mike. I don't know. I played Fortnite for like a week.
I'll be impressed that that's actually what they went with. Like, oh yeah, like I can picture someone playing Fortnite, and as opposed to like building a staircase or whatever, or whatever they do when they're fighting, they just build staircases.
They build a home. That's how you play Fortnite.
Yeah, they just build a house and build a.
You shoot a guy, and then he explodes into a mansion.
Yeah. And then you just build like a little TV and a chair as you sit and watch Batman Begins. And
Batman Begins on, lovely. And then the other guy's like, I thought we were fighting.
Yeah, and the other guy's just like, where we're dropping, boys, and it blows you up. I don't know.
We're dropping in a movie theater. Inception's about to start. Grab your popcorn. Hide the candy in your pockets. They won't check.
Check the loot box for the...
Okay. I just gotta ask you, what has been the best thing you snuck into a movie theater, like as a snack?
Oh gosh, I gotta think. Give me like 5 seconds to think about this, because I know I have snuck in some crazy things.
I've snuck in quite a few things. Take your time. I'm gonna write some of these conversations down as podcast title ideas.
I know I've definitely snuck in like giant bottles of water before, like the 1 liter bottles of water you can get a Wawa or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I know I've snuck those in. I'm sure I've snuck in like 16-ounce bottles of soda. Oh, because me and my friends would always do this. Well, actually, here's a little funny story. Me and my friends were very bad when we were growing up, because in high school, like in grade school and high school, what we would do is, well, as far as sneaking food in, we would always go to the dollar store, get all the candy, like Bunch of Crunch.
As you do.
Yeah,
I like Goobers. I'm a big fan of chocolate covered peanuts.
They're not bad. I always went for the
M&Ms are good.
Yeah,
Skittles.
Reese's Pieces. I'm more of a chocolate kind of a guy, but like those, I actually love Bunch of Crunch, and they actually did sell them.
Oh, you know what else are good? Those like snow caps, like the semi-sweet chocolate with the sprinkles.
I never like those.
I'm a fan of like dark chocolate. Continue your story.
But yeah, basically, you just buy a bunch of them for like 10% of the price that you're going to spend at the movie theater, and then we just sneak them in, and our pockets are just full of candy and giant bottles of water. But then what we would also do is but technically we wouldn't even have to sneak in the food, because we would like 6 of us would all pitch in for 1 ticket. One of us would go and buy the ticket, go to the movie theater, and there was no one. There were no ushers like in the hallways at my movie theater, because it kind of like branched off like one giant main hallway, and then there was a concession stand at the end of the hallway, and there was 2 at the very beginning where you walk in, and then there's 4 branching paths from the middle to the outside, and each of those 4 branching paths had an exit door that like a one-way exit door for when you're done watching your movie.
Right.
But of course, there was never an usher there, so we would just pitch in for 1 ticket. One of us would go to one of the exit doors, and then just let the other 5 of us in. Then we all just get in for free, basically.
Brilliant.
We all spent 1/6 the price of what I think it would be, and then we just technically at that point we wouldn't have to sneak in candy because we were already sneaking in ourselves. So yeah, we were bad kids.
I give that a thumbs up. I don't condone that.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Although, flip the coin here. That's some weak shit. If you're just bringing in like dollar store candy, Mike. Me and my girlfriend have snuck.
You're me up. All right.
Me and my girlfriend have snuck in multiple times. Like, okay, so along the East Coast, there's these gas station / like fast food places called Wawa and Sheetz, where you can get like made to order like subs. You can get like fast food stuff like fries and chicken strips. You can get like burritos and stuff like that. But multiple.
I can see you just pulling out like a giant Wawa. I can see you pulling out like a giant Wawa hoagie.
Yes. Yes. I've snuck in burritos. I've snuck in, like subs. I've snuck in like platters of chicken strips and French fries. Oh man, it's delightful. That's the glory of having a girlfriend. She has the purse to put all the snacks, and they don't check it. What year is this? They don't care what
Yeah, no, people probably bringing in like much worse things.
I've seen pizzas. I've seen buckets of KFC. You name it.
They just walk in with a giant box of pizza.
I don't know how they did it. They did it.
Yo, what you got there? Nothing. All right, enjoy the movie.
It's just popcorn. Oh man,
it's my support animal. It's I don't know.
Now it does start to get questionable when you have like a food item that could smell up the theater. Like pizza definitely would, chicken potentially. So you kind of have to watch that.
Who brought in the sardines? Sorry.
Oh, man. Good times. I'd gladly do that again, too. It's because, there's even those theaters now where you can get, like, food there, which is nice, but you still are kind of getting ripped off. Like, the food you get is, you don't get a lot of it, like, portion-wise, and, like, the quality, it's, like, okay, Yeah,
like, let's be honest. Movie theaters are very lucrative because the movie ticket prices have gone up so much. The food is... I think the food's never gone. I think the food has always been this expensive.
Correction. Movie theaters were lucrative.
Well, rest in peace, AMC. Actually, I think AMC's still around, but, but a lot of them still have closed down. So now I feel bad.
Drive-ins making a comeback.
I honestly cannot believe that they haven't popped up. Even early on when the whole quarantine happened, why didn't they try to like reopen drive-in movie theaters? Even like in the parking lots at the malls are like,
I think it'd be genius.
But the malls are already empty. They could have easily set up like giant projector screens. Obviously, I'm just brainstorming here. Like, can you just imagine if they used all those empty parking lots? AMC could be like, cool, let's just use these, put up giant projector screens, like just make it happen. It might take like 2 weeks to get everything set up, and then cool, now we're back in business, and it makes sense. You can stay in your car and watch a movie. One of
my favorite comedians, his name is Bert Kreischer. He did some big brain plays where he's literally doing a tour right now at drive-in theaters. So he like does like a live hour or whatever, but he just projects it onto the the screen.
Interesting.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think the one thing you have to be careful of is to make people even want to go. Because you have to like isolate it so that way no one can just watch the movie theater from right.
Afar. You need either the right frequency for the radio or however that works. I'm an idiot. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what they do. They give you the radio and they'll say, "Go tune to this channel," and then you can listen to it. But obviously, the screens are so large. Usually, people would sneak by the good old there's a hole in the fence, and then they can watch the movie through the hole in the fence. Not the best way to watch a movie, but I guess it's kind of hard to use empty parking lots, because then anybody can just kind of walk up and just watch it, But I don't know.
All right, we kind of swerved off there. Let's get back on the road here.
That's okay. That was a fun tangent.
Oh yeah, it was. I agree. Anyways, back to our brought to you video game news. Microsoft to permanently close all but 4 physical stores. This made me sad. Microsoft has announced that it will be permanently closing all of its retail stores, while 4 physical locations in London, New York City, Sydney, and Redmond will be reimagined as Microsoft Experience Centers. Microsoft announced the news and said that the company's retail team members will continue to serve customers from Microsoft corporate facilities and remotely, providing sales, training, and support. Microsoft has told The Verge that no layoffs will result from today's decision, Microsoft
wow.
closed its retail stores in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic and had yet to reopen them. Since then, their focus has obviously shifted to its digital storefronts on Microsoft.com and the stores on both Xbox and Windows PC, which reach more than 1.2 billion people every month in 190 markets. This just... I'm not a big Microsoft guy, you know. I haven't had an Xbox system since the 360. But I do like seeing these stores. I think they're really neat. There's one in a mall that I go to, and I always like to go in the store, play around with the like surfaces and the different things. You know, they always have Xboxes set up, and it just makes me sad to see, you know, that these are going.
I have to say, I've seen plenty of Apple stores. I've never once seen a Microsoft store. That's,
very similar. Instead of the Apple, they got their Windows logo, you know, the red, yellow, green, blue. Yeah. And then, there's like computers, there's like their tablets, they have like Xboxes set up, they got a little section in the back with like all the games. It's cool. There's not that many, definitely more Apple stores, but yeah, it just makes me sad to hear that, you know, they're closing a lot of them.
Well, yeah, like it's always sad to hear any closing of stores. You know?
I really like these like niche kind of like tech company stores. Like, I love the Nintendo store in New York City. I know that's more of like a video game focused thing than Microsoft, obviously, but at the same time, I can kind of get, you know, why they would want to close stores, especially with what's going on and with our unemployment rate and stuff like that in the United States, or just like the economy, not really the unemployment rate, excuse me, but yeah. It's sad, but you know. Anyways, speaking of more video game news related stuff here, Tokyo Game Show 2020 online will take place in September. The organizers of Tokyo Game Show have revealed more details about the digital replacement for the conference that will be taking place in September this year. Beginning Wednesday, September 23rd, and ending Sunday, September 29th, Tokyo Game Show 2020 Online will replace the physical event and offer announcements from major publishers to indie game developers, as well as a number of reveals. There will be online exhibits, esports tournaments, and panels, all hosted online for free. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I like seeing things like this. Like, I mean, you know, we've covered, many stories on here about all these events that had to close because of the pandemic going on. Yeah, and I think things like this is just very genius. Also, I love a lot of the Japanese like game studios, so I'm looking very forward to seeing what comes out of this.
Right.
Okay, another story here real quick. Ubisoft CEO promises to personally follow misconduct reports. 2 execs reportedly placed on leave. So, about a week ago, there was a big movement for like getting rid of toxic and bad people in the workplace environments, and there were a lot of things popping up about different video game companies. I felt it was right to just read this one, and I mean, it is right, you know, getting rid of the people who like sexually offended any of their workers or anything like that. Let me just skim through this quick. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has promised to personally follow each of the recent reports of sexual misconduct at the company, while 2 of its vice presidents, among others, have allegedly have been placed on leave as a result of the reports. In a letter to staff obtained by Business Insider, Guillemot writes that he has been profoundly affected by the multiple reports of sexual impropriety and abuse emerging from Ubisoft. These actions are in total contradiction with our values and with what I want to offer what I want for Ubisoft. Excuse me. The company we hold dear must offer a welcoming and respectful environment, allowing everyone to flourish. I will not accept anything less. Guillemot said that the company was setting up a multidisciplinary working group in order to come up with better solutions and tools to detect, report, and resolve any incident or serious problem without delay and an impartial manner. Very good to hear that. Good job, Ease and Ubisoft. And like I said, there was a bunch of other accusations going out there to stop like people doing horrible stuff like this. So good to get that like out there in the public and everyone aware, and hopefully those people get taken care of. Because no one should have to deal with that in the workplace.
Yeah, this is not appropriate. So it's good that they actually are not letting it just kind of like it's one of those things where it's like out of sight, out of mind. It's like, well, no, they're going to actually make sure it's brought to light and addressed, which is good.
Yeah. Moving on here, Square Enix will announce several new games in July and August. Square Enix has announced new games in July and August if a recent stockholder meeting is any indication. The company held a stockholders meeting on June 24th, and when asked about how the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has affected plans to announce new games, a Square Enix representative said new games were originally to be announced at the now canceled E3. We would normally announce new games at E3, yes, a Square Enix spokesperson said, according to a Gamatsu translation of a no investment, no life story. We had planned to have a press conference as a replacement event, but we were unable to do so since assets were not complete. We'll be announcing new titles individually as timing permits. Several will debut around July to August. I mean, this is great to hear. I usually love most of the stuff that comes out of Square. I think they've been doing a really good job with, games like the Final Fantasy VII remake. I know they're also doing really well with their the MMORPG Final Fantasy 14, and they even just announced that new Kingdom Hearts game. Looks
game,
yeah. But I mean, hey, that's still cool.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
So yeah, I can't wait to see what else comes out there. Oh, and also Square is publishing that new Marvel Avengers game, that's being made by Crystal Dynamics, so that looks cool. All right, continuing here, a couple more news stories. Apex Legends to soft launch on mobile in 2020. According to EA CEO Andrew Wilson, Apex Legends is scheduled to soft launch on mobile devices by the end of 2020. As recorded by Apex latest on Twitter, Wilson was speaking about mobile business growth on an EA Fireside Chat on June 22nd, 2020, and said, "We have Plants vs. Zombies 3 in soft launch. We've talked about having Apex Legends in soft launch by the end of this year. You've heard me talk about 6 or 7 other games in various stages of incubation or production or in a finaling phase, We feel very good about our mobile businesses." I think this would be interesting to see something like this actually happen. I mean, there are a lot of mobile battle royale games out there doing quite well. Specifically, I'm thinking of Fortnite and PUBG Mobile. So I'm sure this is going to do good. It's actually kind of surprising thinking about it that this isn't already a thing. But yeah, I think it's neat regardless. We actually have a couple EA stories here. Back to back. Sorry, Mike. Next up, EA wants to double down on making Star Wars games.
Here's an EA story I just don't hear about.
EA CEO Andrew Wilson has revealed that he wants to double down on the developer's creative partnership with Disney to make Star Wars games. The company held a fireside chat webinar with investors this week. During the conference, Wilson alluded to the financial success of the modern Star Wars Battlefront series, Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes as part of his reasoning for further commitment to the license. "We're going to double down on that partnership," Wilson explains. Disney continues to be very, very committed to the IP and to the canon. Wilson sees strong opportunity in the future of the partnership as new fans connect with the Star Wars franchise. "We've got new generations of fans coming to the IP at all the time," Wilson adds. "So our expectation is we think there continues to be a really, really strong opportunity in around that relationship and that IP going forward." I mean, you can already see this coming into fruition with their recently announced Star Wars Squadron. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And I'm glad they're actually doing something with it because they've been sitting on this license for a while, and people are actually getting pretty upset because I want to say they got it around 2008, 2009, and really all they put out were the 2 Battlefront games, and everyone's like, is this really all you're going to do with it? There have been countless really good single-player Star Wars games, and we're just getting these Battlefront, kind of Call of Duty Battlefield-type clone games. What the hell? But yeah, we saw success with Jedi Fallen Order.
You closed down LucasArts. LucasArts. Yeah, so I was gonna say Lucasfilm, but that's the movie studio. They're still up, but it's you close LucasArts and have EA take over, and they still can't produce not only are they not producing as many games, but it's they're just these Battlefront loot box games. Like
even the mobile ones, Star Wars Galaxies of Heroes, like that's all like just one of those gotcha games where it's like, oh, I hope I get the shiny Luke Skywalker out of this pack, you know?
Yeah, EA's finest star. That's just what they do, you know.
Yeah, I hope we see more stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Respawn is working on a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, but more stuff like that. I mean, Squadron looks really cool. I think Squadron's like a good like in between where, yes, there's multiplayer elements, but there's also a single player here, and it looks pretty interesting in my opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, I would say like I'm not trying to act like if EA makes a game, it's bad. All I'm saying is like just to make sure I let the listeners know, I'm just very skeptical because I'm not a fan of EA as a whole. So when I hear that, you know, like if they're gonna delve more into making these games like Fallen Order or the Squadrons, we don't know much about. But like as long as they delve into making games like that, believe me, I'm happy to hear that. Not happy for EA, happy just like for the Star Wars franchise. That's kind of how I look at it.
I 100% agree with you. Last but not least, well, this isn't the last story, but kind of EA related. Crysis Remastered delay after mixed reactions to leaked footage. This actually happened today, believe it or not. Crysis Remastered's release date and trailer premiere have been delayed a few weeks, so Crytek can get Crysis Remastered up to the PC and console breaking standard you've come to expect from Crysis games. In a letter posted on Twitter, Crytek explained that it's seen both the good and the bad reactions to leaked footage of Crysis Remastered, and wants to take the time to make a few more improvements before release. The trailer was supposed to be officially shown today, July 1st, but the Microsoft Store leaked it early and revealed that it had a launch date of July 23rd, 2020. There's the full statement here. I'm not going to go into it. I actually didn't watch the trailer, so I don't really have my opinions on it. I did see some screenshots from the version of this game running on the Switch, and from what I understood, it actually looked pretty good. I don't know how it was running, so, I mean, that's a crucial thing in first-person shooter games on the Switch, so that I don't really know, but, I mean, if they think they need more time to just improve the game, like, why not just... we always talk about this kind of stuff. Just take the time. It's fine. You know, everyone has a bunch of games to play or other things to worry about right now. And I mean, this game is already like, I think Crysis originally came out in like 2007, so it's not a brand new game. So, you know, it's out there if you really want to go play Crysis right now. But yeah, just take your time. I'm sure it'll look good. Okay, moving on here. I thought this was kind of funny. No More Heroes 3 gameplay reveal hidden by Suda51's head. No More Heroes 3 is scheduled to be released sometime in 2020, and today, series director Goichi Suda51 Suda shared the first gameplay footage for the upcoming game. Sorta. It was mostly covered by his head. The new Game Plus Expo premiered this morning, showcasing some upcoming games from primarily Japanese studios. Suda51 was the first presenter during the expo and set the stage for a new No More Heroes 3 reveal. Instead, he began speaking about the Switch games he planned on playing during social isolation. Meanwhile, in the background, a video of No More Heroes 3 gameplay was shown. Most of it was obscured by Suda as he continued to not say anything about the anticipated sequel. You can watch the obscured gameplay over at IGN or on YouTube. But yeah, it was quite funny. Like, he was literally just... put his head, like, green screened his head in front of the gameplay for No More Heroes 3.
As you go, like, get your head down now!
Right.
Everyone's so, like, I mean, I actually played the first one, I never played the second one. Did you play any of these games before, No More Heroes?
I love the first one. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely on my top 10. I don't know about top 5, but I really enjoyed it. I have No More Heroes 2. I've never played it. There's also one that came out like a year ago on the Switch. Well, I think it's on everything now. It wasn't the same type of gameplay. It was almost like a spin-off, but yeah, I love the series. I love the characters. I love the style.
Oh, wait, do you mean the one that's like
Travis Strikes Back?
Oh, that's not the sequel. There actually is No More Heroes 2.
Yeah. I have that one as well. I've never played that one. I played the Travis Strikes Back or whatever.
I'm sorry. I thought you were confusing the sequel for the Travis Strikes Back. Okay, never mind.
But yeah, I really like these games. And, I mean, you can kind of see the gameplay, you know, behind his head. And I was liking what I saw. It kind of reminded me of the original No More Heroes, which is what I want because the spin-off was like a top-down, like it wasn't the same thing. It had bits,
like an arcade game almost. That's kind of what they were trying to emulate. You know?
Right? Yeah. But I'm super hyped for that game. I can't wait. I would fucking love if they put Travis Touchdown into Smash, but I mean, you know, I'm the Smash guy. I want everyone in Smash.
I want his taunt to be when he like uses his beam katana as a you know what.
Well,
like oh yeah.
I think that would probably be part of his gameplay if he was a character, because that's a big element in the game, like charging up the beam katana, shaking the beam katana.
Yeah, to charge it up. I'm sure they would implement it, but they'll probably just change the animation where it's not like he looks like he's using both hands on it or something, you know?
Also, shout-outs to the saves in those games. You know, Travis got to drop a nice hot save, you know, every once in a while.
I also liked how, like, I kind of made jokes when I first played that game that the transition was kind of cool. How it, it would, like, fade to, like, a...
Oh, yes!
Like a shade of red or a shade of green. But I made a joke, like, it does this transition all the time. Right? He can like open up the refrigerator, then that same like that transition just happens whenever he does anything. That's kind of like
and whenever you would fight a boss, like it would do this really nice like anime intro, and there'd be like a robot voice that would say their name, and then there would be all these stickers that go over the screen like of a decal of the boss. God, yeah. That game's so good. It's a shame that it's only on like Wii and PS3. I really love No More Heroes 1. That game's hella good.
Also, the mini game part was kind of dumb, but like the actual gameplay was fun.
Also, one of my favorite things about that game is every time you kill like the bad guys, they say like the same 2 or 3 lines, and you know you'll slash them in different areas. Like sometimes you'll cut off their head or cut off one of their legs, but anywhere you slash them, sometimes they'll just yell "My spleen," and it always cracks me up. Just like you kill them anywhere, and they're just like, you know, it's fun.
I don't remember that. I just remember going like ah when you like.
Sometimes they'd go like, no way.
It's been a while since I played that game, so maybe I just don't remember. My leg.
Also, I thought it was neat. You know, they did the thing like on the Wii where Travis would get like calls on his cell phone, and you put the Wiimote up to your head like it's a cell phone, and like. The character, I think her name's like Sylvia or Samantha or something, she would talk to you through the Wiimote.
Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Little callback to Red Steel. That was the first game I saw that did that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I really like that game. I could go on a whole tangent about that game. Anyways, moving on here. I thought this one was interesting and kind of funny at the same time. Amazon's Crucible is headed back to closed beta a month after release. You heard that right. This game released, and it did very poorly, so they put it in closed beta. Amazon's free-to-play team shooter Crucible, you also heard that right, Amazon has a game studio, has been pulled back into closed beta just a month after its official release. Crucible's developer Relentless Studios revealed the news on the Crucible blog yesterday, announcing that as of today, the game will shift back into a closed beta state once more, in order to focus on providing the best possible experience for our players. Despite the drastic change, Relentless is still following the roadmap it announced in early June when it decided to pull two of Crucible's 3 game modes from circulation after its player base dwindled just weeks after launch. Yikes. The team are focusing on map, combat, and system changes, and made it clear that the Crucible experience will remain much the same for those who have been playing since launch. So for those of you who don't know what this is, I believe this is a 4v4 team shooter, kind of a hero shooter, almost like Overwatch, where there's different characters and they all have different abilities. I don't know much about this game. I only really watched like about maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of it. But I believe your goal is you kind of like capture different points while also, you know, like not trying to kill the enemy team. Or I don't really know a lot about this game. All I know is it must have not been great if they literally had to pull it from released to closed beta. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is it is hard, though, for a game like this to come out in a environment where there are billions of games just like this. I mean, you got Overwatch. You could even say, like, Fortnite.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
Yeah, making a multiplayer shooter game and trying to make it just as big as all those, you got to make it very unique to stand out. And I will say this thing had some interesting things going for it, especially a lot of the character designs. They're very weird. Like there's a lot of like alien creatures and robots. They're not just like all generic humans. But yeah, it's just this is a very competitive market, especially like a multiplayer game. Like it really, demands players constantly play it and put their money into the skins or whatever. Anyways, real quick here, just this is a very I thought this was interesting too. So they announced, I think this is the last DLC character for the newly released Samurai Showdown game. This came out a year ago, so I guess it's not technically that new. But it's actually a crossover character, crossover with For Honor. If any of y'all remember that game, it was a Ubisoft kind of like a action multiplayer game, almost kind of like Dark Souls-esque combat, like behind the shoulder, like different melee type units. But I just thought this was a very weird crossover thing. Samurai Showdown, an SNK game with Ubisoft and For Honor. And I don't even know how many people are still playing For Honor. For Honor is still getting updates, so I'm not going to poo-poo on For Honor. I thought it always looked cool, but I just thought this is one of the most random crossovers ever. Just as random as the Vault Boy and Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I'm not...
No, I think it's cool.
It's random, yeah, I agree. It's random,
but yeah, I'm not a big Samurai Showdown fan or even For Honor. I just thought that was interesting. Let's move on here. This one's actually... I guess we got a lot of like weird, interesting stories this news week. I thought this one was kind of crazy. Lego Games Studio spent $1 million on a failed Lord of the Rings game pitch. The founder of the British game studio Traveller Tales, best known for its Lego games, has revealed that in 2008, the company spent more than $1 million on a failed pitch to make a tie-in game for Peter Jackson's The Hobbit series. John Burton posted a video to his YouTube channel Game Hut, explaining the situation and featured footage from tech demos used to pitch the game to Peter Jackson and then director Guillermo del Toro. Instead of Lego games, for which the studio was known, the team made photorealistic recreations of key scenes from the Lord of the Rings movies on Xbox 360 hardware, including Gandalf fighting the Balrog, Aragorn fighting Uruk-hai at Amon Hen. Forgive me, I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. And stealth gameplay where you'd play as Frodo in Deep Hollow Woods, avoiding the Black Riders. It's very much worth watching the video, but here's some screenshots on this IGN story. Again, I just think this is fascinating. I love seeing like canceled video game projects and
this taboo behind the scenes stuff,
right. And it's even, again, very interesting because, like they say, this is the people who made the Lego games, so it's very weird that they went with this very photorealistic, which it was for the time. Remember, this is 2008 on the Xbox.
Yeah, this is like 360 PS3 graphics.
So it's not photorealistic now, but for the time, like it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
I love seeing this weird crap where it's just like, what? What was this thing? So that's out there if anyone cares. Like I said, I don't really know much about the Lord of the Rings either because, I don't know, I'm a bad person.
Yeah, you are a bad person. I'm disappointed in you, son.
Moving on here. Speaking of more weird announcements, Earth Defense Force 6 and voxel spinoff Earth Defense Force World Brothers revealed. Earth Defense Force 6 has been officially revealed by series publisher D3, with the game expected to launch in 2021. Alongside that, a voxel-based spin-off, Earth Defense Force World Brothers, is also on the way. The 2021 date suggests that Earth Defense Force 6 will land on next-gen consoles, which launch this holiday season, but no official platforms for the game have been announced just yet. The game's website doesn't offer much information beyond a suite of screenshots, which, as you might expect, include massive bugs terrorizing an urban landscape. It looks very much like an Earth Defense Force game, where a team of humans must flesh out character builds and fight to get rid of the bugs, to get rid of the world of a bug scourge with increasingly absurd weaponry. That's pretty much the pitch for Earth Defense Force. If y'all don't know anything about it, it's like giant.
I have played the game before. It's actually a really difficult game. I played before. It is like, I mean, there's like different of difficulty, but hard mode is like impossible.
I've always wanted to get into these games. I'm just gonna say this though. I really don't like bugs that much, and I especially don't like ants. And I know like the majority of the enemies in this game are giant ants, and I don't know if I could deal with that. But I like the idea of this game. Like I like kaiju stuff. I like how it's basically just a third person shooter. One day I'll get into these games. But Earth Defense Force 6, that's cool. That's not really what I'm here for. What I think is interesting. It's the other game. As well as Earth Defense Force 6, a voxel-based Earth Defense Force game has been revealed titled Earth Defense Force World Brothers. The change in art style looks like a great fit, and according to its website, the predecessment facing the World Brothers is that Earth has become a square. The game features characters from across the entire Earth Defense Force series. Oh, that's pretty neat. And will land on Nintendo Switch and PS4 at some point this year. Like the article states here, it's voxel based, and for those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically like 3D, 8-bit or pixel type graphics. Think of like Minecraft kind of looking stuff. And again, that's just very odd. Like you wouldn't expect that of like a Earth Defense Force game. So I just thought that's interesting. Maybe that'll be fun though. I didn't know it's coming to the Switch. That's kind of cool.
I think it'll fit right in the.
Maybe they're trying to get more of a child audience. I don't know. I don't know why they would make the spin-off thing. It makes me scratch my head, but at the same time, I'm like, this could be cool. Those games actually do quite well, and I think it is just because children like that art aesthetic. It doesn't look bad, though. I'm not trying to poo-poo on it.
Yeah, I guess I have to see it for myself, because like the other art aesthetic, when I played EDF, was like, you know, just like any other like game.
Very generic.
You know? Yeah. Like ordinary graphics that you would expect from like a 360 or a PS3 or even like Wii graphics at the time, you know.
All right. I'm not a big Harry Potter head, if you will. I do like Harry Potter, but I think this looks hella cool. Harry Potter RPG reportedly due in late 2021. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment's rumored Harry Potter RPG is reportedly set to be released in late 2021 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, according to a report by Bloomberg. Although the developers are said to be rattled by such issues as the COVID-19 pandemic, J.K. Rowling's recent controversial comments and the possible sale of the Warner Brothers video game publishing business. This Harry Potter RPG has been long rumored, but never officially announced. While there was a supposedly gameplay leak in 2018, Warner Brothers has yet to confirm this much-anticipated title to a world at large. The project is said to let players become wizards in an open world that takes place at Hogwarts and in nearby locations. Two anonymous sources close to the project have revealed to Bloomberg that the project is very real and that it is in development by Disney Infinity Studio Avalanche Software in Salt Lake City, Utah. I think this is a great idea. I watched the leaked gameplay from 2018 and was in love. Like I said, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I think this is just a really cool idea. The whole concept of it's essentially like it's just you're in the Harry Potter world and you can become whatever kind of wizard you want, I assume. That just seems like cash money.
Yeah, I mean, especially for like how big the Harry Potter franchise is. Like, I totally agree that there are some people who've been praying for a game like this. But the first thing I think of is this is just what comes in my mind is something like the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Where like you can become like a wizard and like do whatever you want to do. Like, do you want to be a good guy and like save people? Do you want to be a bad guy and just like cast ice, magic, and fire spells and kill people? Like, so it's obviously, but this is going to fit in the world of Harry Potter, which is what is the main drive. So that's kind of cool.
The better question is, will this game actually have the sorting hat and tell you what house you belong in? Because that's a big important factoid to any of the Harry Potter nuts out there. I'd probably be Hufflepuff because I'm pretty lazy. I don't know about you, Mike. Maybe Gryffindor. You seem like a Gryffindor kind of guy.
Well, I guess I can take that as a compliment. I'd rather the hat, whatever, be like pass next student. Like, oh man,
the hat costs $2.99 to tell you what class you belong in, And then if you don't like that choice, you can pay an additional $2.99 to get a new one.
Wait. Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot my wallet. And then back of the line.
The loot hat. Oh my god. All right, moving on. Death Stranding sequel potentially teased by Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima has tweeted out part of his process for designing a new title, with one image suggesting that Kojima Productions' next game could be set within the Death Stranding universe. Kojima has explained that he's working on new concept with longtime collaborator and Kojima Productions art director Yoji Shinakawa. Keen eye fans, have spotted that one piece of concept art features a vehicle with a prominent Bridges logo embolized. I'm sorry.
Emblazoned?
That's it. There you go. Sorry. On the side, Bridges being one of the organizations Norman Reedus Sam works for in Death Stranding. And there's a tweet here which shows off some of the close-ups on it. We're getting a little tinfoil hat here, but I mean, I could see it. You know, I believe Death Stranding sold really well. It was received very mixed. Some people loved it, some people hated it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm pretty sure the reviews are all over the place, but I'm pretty sure it sold really well. Let me. I'm actually gonna look up the sales for that game. I'm curious.
It's even getting a PC release. Like, that was technically a quote unquote PS4 exclusive, but you know, it is gonna come out on PC, and I know it's getting some cool stuff there. Like, it's getting like Half-Life content in there. Like, Norman Reedus can wear like the Gordon Freeman glasses. I think he even might get a crowbar. I forget everything, but it's pretty neat.
Okay,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, apparently it sold like 262,000 copies in Japan.
Okay.
Which I guess is pretty good for Japan. In U.S., Death Stranding was the 7th best-selling game. Okay, well, was there any numbers? Hey, where are the numbers? Just tell me how many they sold.
It sold 10 copies.
That's a success. Let me check Wikipedia. That can probably. Oh gosh, just tell me how many it sold.
I was just gonna say quickly that that's a game that I really want to sink my teeth into at some point. I've never been honestly I've never really played any of the Metal Gear games. Some here and there, but I'm not really a big like Kojima fan, I guess. But I've always been curious about his work, and one day I'm gonna dive into Death Stranding.
I did play the original Metal Gear Solid, and I never played the original Metal Gear games. They're like
on the NES and stuff.
NES stuff, yeah. But yeah, I played Metal Gear Solid. It was fun. I think it was. I never got into it, but like the first one was pretty cool. Come on,
where are those numbers, boy?
I honestly can't find them, but it looks like it didn't sell like 1 million copies.
Strange.
You think it would have sold like? You think those numbers would have been available? It's saying 7th best-selling game, but then it must sold like 1 million copies at minimum. Because that, to me, like 1 million copies is usually like a success. But then again, even like for big studios, 1 million copies might not be a success. You know.
True. Yeah.
I honestly can't find them. Maybe one of the listeners can put it in the comments below on YouTube.
There you go. That's on you guys. Do the work.
Yeah. We're too lazy, so we'll let you guys do it. It's fun to do work for us.
Yeah, and maybe we'll give you a shout out, or maybe we'll just give you a thumbs up.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Where were we? This also got announced today. Devolver Digital to be broadcast on Devolver Direct, to be broadcast on July 11th. Devolver Direct, the yearly showcase from indie publisher Devolver Digital, will broadcast on July 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK. The pre-recorded show will be a broadcast live on Twitch and Steam and promises new game reveals, gameplay reveals, release date announcements, and special guests from the industry to help usher in these important marketing bullet points. The press release makes clear that the show will consist of nearly all gameplay because that's what the youths of today demand. The show will end with a few surprises, and game demos will immediately become available to play, including Carry On, Disc Room, and an unannounced title. Devolver's yearly showcases have become legendarily strange, gross, and interconnected. It'll be worth checking out just to see what on earth could happen to Chiefs Synergy Officer Nina Struthers this year. So yeah, they pretty much just hit the nail on the head right there. All the Devolver Direct type things they do are always very weird. Think of Adult Swim, live action weird type stuff. Also, I mean, Devolver Digital makes hella good games, you know, like Super Hot. Oh my god, what's that one I'm thinking of? It's like top down. It's got like the chicken head guy. What's that game? Oh, Hotline Miami. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I know that's done really well. I'm blanking on a lot. Enter the Gungeon. They've done, you know, that kind of stuff. They make very good games. So I'm interested to see what they announce here. I'm probably not going to watch this live. I've never really watched these events live. Also, I think it's hilarious to point out that I think they announced this on Twitter, I want to say, and they made this like really cute little like graphic that literally is just mocking the, you know, Nintendo Direct type like style. Also, I don't know who made that logo, but they totally used the same editing software, found the same clip art I did, because that is the controller that we use in our player or level with me. Like hang on, I'll send you the tweet.
I'll get out of here.
It's literally the same like controller. Like you can see it right there.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, oh my god, that's the one I made or used when I made this stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, and we always save the best for last. We got some Nintendo news, as we do.
Oh, yeah.
First, a very sad one here. Also, kind of going back to the beginning of our podcast about theme parks. Super Nintendo World theme park opening delayed indefinitely. The Super Nintendo World theme park's opening has been indefinitely delayed in Japan. Universal Studios Japan is planning to postpone the opening of its coming Nintendo theme land in Osaka as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, according to the NHK World Japan. The theme park, which is heavily based on Nintendo's Mario franchise, is nearly complete. This includes not just construction of the land, but themed rides and restaurants as well. Very sad to hear this, but not surprised at all, especially with how we're seeing like a rise in cases again, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's done now, we're all good. And it's like, no, dummies, it's still there. You still got to be careful. So very understandable, you know.
Yeah, it's more like it's always disappointing to hear that, like more delays and more, but it's like, again, it's for everyone's safety, and it's not like it's going away. It's just, we just got to be, like, we waited this long, we can wait a little bit longer. You know?
So I forget if we talked about this last week or not. I don't think we did, because I think this was technically announced on June 24th or 23rd. No, we didn't talk about this yet. So if you remember, Mike, a few weeks ago, the Pokemon Company had that one live stream, and they were like, we got a couple announcements here. You know, we covered it. Pokemon Smile, Pokemon, the cafe, stupid puzzle thing, whatever. Yeah. And, of course, new Pokemon Snap. And everyone got hype. And they're like, yeah, that's going to be cool. And then they're also like, but hold up. We got another announcement coming next week, so stay tuned. And it was like, oh, my God, how are they going to top new Pokemon Snap? Like, that's what everyone's wanted for years. It was literally like 20 years since they announced the last Pokemon Snap. So that must mean, you know, maybe it's a sequel to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Maybe it's like a remake of Diamond and Pearl. Maybe
I've heard of people waiting for the Diamond and Pearl remake, and I've also heard people doing like a Johto.
Right.
Like a Johto Let's Go. That'd be really awesome.
But, right. And what did we get, Mike?
Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, everyone's united playing MOBAs. You like League of Legends, right, Mike? It's Pokemon League of Legends.
I don't know.
And guess what?
I didn't like Pokemon Tekken either, so I'm not sure if I'll like Pokemon League of Legends.
This game is being made by Tencent, the people who own like more than half of the studios in China. They're very familiar with these kind of like microtransaction-y type games.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. So, yes, Pokemon Unite was announced last week, which is a Pokemon MOBA. Simply, you know, you go on this Pokemon island with your squad of 5 Pokes, and you fight off the other Pokes. You level up. Your Charmander becomes a Charmeleon, then a Charizard, and get different moves. Okay, cool. I'm not a MOBA guy. Whatever. How did the internet react to this? Let's see here. Pokemon Unite reveal becomes the Pokemon Company's most disliked video on YouTube. Oh, no.
That's funny.
Yesterday, well, it was like a week ago, Pokemon Unite's presentation has quickly become the Pokemon Company's most disliked video on YouTube ever. Yesterday, Pokemon Presents broadcast had occurred over 170,000 dislikes in under 24 hours. Yikes. Big yikes. A strong response from fans after the hotly anticipated reveal turned out to be a MOBA-like where you play as teams of Pokemon, earning abilities, and vying for control of a top-down battlefield. In further showing of the community reaction to the new game, the channel's second most disliked video is the standalone trailer for the game with over 55,000 dislikes. Both videos have seen their dislike far outstrip the likes given. While not a solid measurement of overall fan reaction to the game, it's very clear that Unite's announcement has been a controversial one. Yeah, man. I do think this is a cool game. There is definitely a lot of things surrounding it, which really makes me squint my eyes and be like, this, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. Especially with the Tencent integration, or I think they're the ones developing it.
I'm sure that's probably the biggest part of the backlash, because people can just they can simply anticipate, oh, they're making this game, it's going to be, again, very microtransaction-y, and it's just not what Pokemon's supposed to be. You know?
Right. And something that's weird about this game is that it's going to be free to play, and it's also going to be on mobile. So it's going to be on the Switch, and you can also get it on your phones, which is interesting. It also has cross-play between both the Switch and your phones, which is cool. Of course, you also probably want to pull your hair out as you're playing with some dude who's in Starbucks, you know, just tip-tapping away, and you're like at your home TV with your wired Nintendo Switch console, and it's just like buffering, or I could see that being really frustrated. I don't know. All I can say is we can all see clearly the fans didn't want this. I mean, I don't care about this. I think it's neat, but it's definitely not what I want in it or care about personally.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the games like League of Legends. You said they're called MOBAs. Yeah,
Dota 2. You know.
Yeah, just not for me. So, I mean, I just feel like maybe I'm an old school guy, but when I think of Pokemon, like, Pokemon Snap was fun. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm just like, if it follows the Pokemon formula, I'm cool with it. Maybe another game I would rather like to have seen a reveal for is maybe something like a new Pokemon Stadium, even though it's literally basically the new Pokemon games are good. Nah, I guess that's not true. Because Pokemon Stadium was just 3D Pokemon, and now we had that now ever since X and Y. So I guess Pokemon Stadium would have to introduce something new. Because technically, the old school one on the N64 had different modes. It had like little game modes and like little side events.
Mini games.
Yeah,
you could do like a little tournament.
Yeah, but it had tournament mode. But it also had like little fun events where you had to challenge all of the gym leaders in order and challenge the order. Like there were cool additional modes. So I'm sure they could probably whip up something like that. But
when I was even talking to my friend speculating what this announcement could have been, I even suggested what if it was a Pokemon story-driven game, almost like Colosseum or Gale of Darkness, like the GameCube ones.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards. Yeah, that'll be exciting to have something like that.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, the Pokemon Company, they're smart. They're going to see this dislike and be like, okay, this isn't really what fans like, so maybe they'll, think about something, or maybe they'll do a poll, or I don't know. I'm sure they'll see the backlash and be like, okay, they want something else.
Well, hopefully they'll see the backlash and,
Hopefully, yeah.
Do something.
Last but not least here, this is actually the last news story. Animal Crossing New Horizons Summer Update Wave 1 adds ocean swimming, new characters, and sea creatures. Animal Crossing New Horizons Summer Update Wave 1 will add ocean swimming, new characters, new items to find and donate, new DIY recipes, and more. This free update will arrive on July 3rd, 2020, and will allow players to swim for the first time in New Horizons. While swimming, players can find and donate new sea creatures, like a sea star or sea anemone, run into Pascal the Otter, who will give out new DIY recipes like a mermaid dresser and more. There will be other encounters throughout the island, like running into Gulliver in a new red outfit, kind of looks like a pirate type thing. Who knows what the change will bring with it? I assume new types of items from that. This update won't be the only one this summer. However, an update number 2 will arrive in early August. While no details were given, the release window announcement was surrounded by fireworks, possibly hinting at things to come. This looks great. I'm super hype. It actually, a little hint, nudge, spoiler, I guess, but it got me back into playing Animal Crossing because I'm really excited for this. My girlfriend did point out that these aren't like new. So these are new features to New Horizons, but swimming was in I think it's called New Leaf, the one on the 3DS. So this isn't technically a brand new thing into Animal Crossing. It's just new for New Horizons, but it looks great. All the different new content they're adding to it, I'm very excited.
Awesome, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really say much because I am just not an Animal Crossing fan. I just never got into it. But yeah, I'm always happy to hear that there's just. I mean, I think we mentioned this before. Animal Crossing is gonna be one of those great games where, like, it's the latest entry in the series can get updated constantly, and all it's not even DLC. The game constantly changes, so that just keeps bringing people back to the game.
Right. It's like always fresh.
Yeah.
I love it. But that's it for the news. So, Mike, if you want to take over and tell me about your week. I don't really know how much you've been doing besides opening a box or carrying a box or scraping scalpel or whatever. That's my favorite game. Spackle.
Yeah, my life's been pretty much like, remember the episode of SpongeBob when he and Patrick got a cardboard box and they were just playing in that all day?
Yep.
And Squidward was getting mad at them. Yeah, it was just boxes. And I didn't know what to get you for Christmas, so I got to this box. That's what I got you!
Boxing. 2 boxes in a ring. Classic.
Yeah. I love that meme. But yeah, so unfortunately in the world of gaming, I didn't even get a chance to really play more Subnautica, which I was really looking forward to playing again because I want to get the next video. I do have a footage for the next Subnautica video for our YouTube channel, but I just haven't had time to edit it. I do want to get back to playing that. The game is so much fun. I'm pretty sure I think last week I mentioned it, but I guess that's all I can really talk about is that the game is just so fun. It's terrifying as always, as this game is. Here's actually some good news. So I think I realized why my computer was always getting crazy and silly, like for the last couple months. I realized I don't have I have 2 computer screens, but they're not actual computer monitors. They're 2 TVs, and the TVs are of different sizes and resolutions. So I think that was what was causing my computer to always like spaz out because it was trying to understand that there were 2. Kind of like the display settings know there's 2 screens of different settings.
Right.
There's 2 TVs.
Yeah.
So I think that might have been what was causing some problems because ever since I booted up my computer like yesterday, I've been kind of like messing around with it and it's been flying very quickly. And I think it's because it only has 1 monitor to really worry about. So hopefully when I get back to playing it, maybe I'll play a little bit tonight, just briefly. I kind of just want to test running it on the computer again to see how it runs, because I think now it might run a little smoother. And that'll not only make me have more fun, but it'll make it better for when I'm recording it for the Let's Play.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, that's basically all we've been doing. I'm trying to see if we can maybe find some time this weekend to do. I mean, this weekend's gonna be a little tough for me again because it's the holidays. We have 4th of July weekend.
Right.
But I do want to get back to playing or watching you play Luigi's Mansion and maybe have you watch me play Metroid. You know,
absolutely.
We're overdue for that. I do apologize. It's been a busy week for me.
Hey, don't worry about it, Mike. I just want to let all the listeners know that I have plenty of content in my backlog. I actually just uploaded last night another episode of Remnant from the Ashes and another part of The Last of Us Part 2. And I have more parts for Luigi's Mansion 3 and those other 2 games that I probably am going to be uploading over the next few days. So look forward to that. But yeah, are you all done? You want me to just take over from here?
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of feel bad for not being contributed that much this week. Again, I just haven't had really time to delve into anything. I mean, I guess I can maybe chime in and say I've been watching some stuff. So I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I was watching Korra, the Legend of Korra.
You were, yep.
So since Netflix has Avatar back on it's on the air, or whatever, I thought let me go back and rewatch Avatar because I said to myself Avatar was better than Korra. Not to say I think I spoke my mind about the show, The Legend of Korra, and maybe like 2 weeks ago. The show is very good. I enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Avatar, you'll at least like the show. But obviously, it's nowhere near as good. And I can understand why there was a lot of controversy and divisiveness. But so anyway, I went back to watching Avatar, and just like I remember it, I just can't stop watching it once I start watching it. The show is just so fun. The characters are fun. I like the animation style that the show uses. It's like they're trying to emulate it being an anime, but obviously it's not because it's made by Nickelodeon Studios. And I think I'm up to the 3rd and final season. There's only 3 books, as they call them, or 3 seasons for the show, but they're rather lengthy. It's like 20 episodes a season. And yes, I'm up to the 3rd season, and it's this show's just as good as I remember it.
Cool.
Yeah. I would highly recommend anybody out there who has watched the Avatar series to give it a shot. It's actually pretty enjoyable.
I get it, Mike. I'll get to it at some point.
Watch it.
When I'm 33, I'll get to it.
Oh, gosh. You're missing out.
Yes, I've been told.
Yes. But anyway, I'll let you take over now.
Okay. Well, you don't have to feel too bad, Mike, because, I mean, since I was traveling this weekend, I pretty much didn't really do too much on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as content that I can talk about, I guess. I have a few things, though. I really didn't watch, anything. Just, a few episodes, Community or, a cooking show. Or when I was on vacation, I actually watched the movie Grown Ups. Have you ever seen that movie?
I did. It's pretty funny. I think it's definitely not my favorite Adam Sandler movie. I think it's cool that it brings back all those characters from the 90s.
Right.
It has all the classic guys from SNL.
Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, even Steve Buscemi's in it. I like it for that reason. But overall, the movie's the movie's okay. I think the sequel. I never saw the sequel, but I heard the sequel is atrociously bad. So
I'm right there with you. Me and my girlfriend, we put that on because we know it's that kind of movie. It was late when we put it on, 11 p.m. or midnight. We're just we want to just watch something dumb. I agree with you. It's not my favorite comedy movie, but it's tolerable. I don't think I have seen the sequel, but I'd probably watch it because I enjoy a good bad movie, even if it's just a bad movie.
Yeah, the guy. I can't say I've seen it, but I think people told. It's basically just the first movie all over again or something, but it's just terrible.
That's great.
It's very cool. Yeah. If you liked it the first time, watch it a second time.
Oh my god. But yeah, anyways, didn't really watch anything. Played, I got a couple things I can talk about here.
Right.
So, again, if I need to shout this out, which of course I do, me and my good buddy Abra over at Ladstone Entertainment have been playing through Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And I got to actually sit down with him last week and play a little bit more. We didn't get very far in it. We only got to record an hour of gameplay. And I got a little lost, honestly, when I played my last time. So I beat Misty at the Cerulean Gym. And then I ended up going up, but I should have technically I went north, but I should have went south because that's towards the next gym. So I ended up fighting all these trainers on this bridge. It was really odd. They're all just lined up. And there were even more trainers. It was you go up and then you go right. And there were just trainer after trainer after trainer. Although they all only had one Pokemon. So I'm how good are these trainers anyways? I mean, I'm just mowing through these trainers left and right.
Oh, scrubs.
Yeah. On my way there, though, I did find this one special NPC who had a little cute Charmander standing next to him, and he's like, hey, I got this Charmander, and I don't know, I just kind of hate it. Do you want it? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I want that Charmander.
I was gonna say, like, that should be one of the first Pokemon. Like, again, if this game is supposed to be like a remake of Yellow, you can get the starter. So I'm happy that you found it. I'm happy you found the Charmander. So that's cool.
The only thing, though, is to get that Charmander from him, he said that I have to have at least 50 different Pokemon, and I'm still pretty early in that game, so I did not have that yet. So, unfortunately,
wow.
Okay. 50 different Pokemon. So, unfortunately, he still got the Charmander, but put a mental stamp right there, and I told Abra, I'm like, okay, we're going to come back. We're going to get that Charmander. Don't you worry. Charmander is like one of my favorite Pokemon in the original Gen 1. Anyways,
mine's Squirtle.
Squirtle's great, too. I love all the starters. So we progress a little bit down past the Charmander. More trainers, kicking their butts, like whipping it taking names. It was easy work. And then we make it to a little lab. And, before we went in the lab, there was another one of the special trainers. I forget what they're called, but they, all have, one Pokemon, and they're, super buffed Pokemon. And they had a Machop. Or no, is Machop the starter form? I always get these mixed up.
It's a Machop, Machoke, and Machamp.
There you go. Yeah, so she had a Machop, and he was actually pretty beefy. I think he was, level 20, which is a little high for me right now. And he just kept doing Seismic Toss. And Seismic Toss actually has a really cool animation in Pokemon Let's Go. It literally lifts up the Pokemon, and they just, are in they're in, space, above the earth, and then they come flying back down and hit the ground. Really cool. I highly recommend you guys go watch the Let's Play to see it in action. Almost like Zippy Zap. But yeah, that's all the Machamp was doing. And it was actually wrecking a bunch of my Pokemon. But I finally beat him. And then she gave me the TM for Seismic Toss. I'm like, oh, cool. That's how you get that. And I was like, great. That's a cool move. But then we go in the house right next to this Master Trainer or whatever they're called. And I run into a talking Nidoran. Or Nidorino. Or Nidoran. Is Nidorino... Oh, my God. I'm such a fake gamer. The middle stage... Purple.
Yeah. The purple, that's Nidorino.
Nidorino. Okay, yeah. Talking Nidorino, and it's literally it's Bill for those of you who don't know him. And he's like, "Hey, it's like the Fly. It's like I need your help. I became a Pokemon. I know this sounds weird, but I need you to press these buttons on my computer and turn me not into a Pokemon anymore." So I did that, and Pikachu was startled, but yeah, outruns the Nidorino, and then Bill. And Bill's like, "Oh, thank you so much. Here's some tickets for a yacht or a cruise. Now get out of my house." I'm like, "All right." And then we caught a Growlithe, and that was pretty much the Let's Play.
Hey, if you ended on a Growlithe, it sounds like a pretty good Let's Play.
Oh yeah, I was very happy to have a Fire type as our first Fire type. But yeah, we're going to record more of that, I believe, tomorrow, so there will be more progress on that. So, again, if you want to go watch that, check it out. It's Loudstone Entertainment. I think it's just called, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Let's Play with Game Bro Corey or something like that. We're up to, part 7, I think, and we're going to, like I said, record more, so definitely go check those out. Next... go ahead.
Quick side note, because I left a comment on one video. I don't know if your buddy Abra saw it or if you saw it. But I think the audio is actually not synced on the videos. I think the last two.
Oh, no.
So I left a comment. I don't know if he saw it or not, but maybe you can let him know. I think on the last 2 uploads, the audio is not synced.
Oh, no, yeah. I'll have to definitely look into that. Yeah, I don't really watch those because I'm playing them, obviously. But yeah, I'll have to... Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here to help.
All right. Moving on. So last Friday, Min Min came out for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the first fighter of Fighter Pass 2. So I went in and I purchased the Fighter Pass 2 because I'm like, well, now's an appropriate time. There's actually a character for it. And I played a little bit of Min Min. I didn't go online and play with her. I just messed around with her in training mode. And I think I might have did 1 or 2 matches against just computers with her. And she's actually a lot of fun. She's very interesting because, like I mentioned before, her attacks are basically both the A and B are both of her arms. And they do the same type of moves. She'll literally stretch out her arms with A or B. And you can do kind of smash-ish type attacks with both of them. And you can even do smash attacks in the air with her arms, which is really cool. Also, she has like a up B, like kind of just like a standard up B, like she just launches herself up. Her down B will change her arm on her one side of her arms. So she has 3 different ones. She has like a boomerang ring type thing, which kind of sucks. It's like a light arm, and basically it shoots out another little, like it shoots out the arm, then it shoots out an additional little like boomerang type thing that kind of goes in like a semicircle. Not great. She can also have another dragon arm, like her permanent dragon arm. That's fine. What you want to use is she has a big like wrecking ball type arm, which is super powerful. You want to use that guy. That thing is really good. And then besides that, so she has like basic like, oh, she's almost like a Dhalsim type character in Smash. Like she has big like hitbox attacks, but they're slow, and obviously she doesn't do great up close. But she does have some close quarters stuff. So you can actually do like a basic jab with her if you just quickly tap A, or tap it and not hold it. So she can do like a very basic jab in front of her. She also has a pretty good down tilt that kind of like slides her forward, almost like Banjo-Kazooie's down tilt. Her up tilt is very good. It kind of reminds me of like Fox, like a very good, like just half circle, very quick, like just a very basic good up tilt. She also has a really good up and down smash. Her up smash is kind of like a big like somersault kick, and then her down smash is kind of just like she does a kick with both her legs, like each direction. So she does have some like close quarters things. But the main reason you'd play Min Min, obviously, is, you know, you're using advantage of her arms and her range. She also has a really good grab, obviously. I think she might have the longest grab in the game, but don't quote me on that. That might still be like Samus or someone like that. Or they're about the same, I don't know. But yeah, she seemed really cool. I don't know how well she's going to do in like tournaments yet, and it's really hard to say considering there's no like IRL tournaments. All the online tournaments, you can't really count those because there's more like input delay online. It's kind of like a whole thing if you know competitive Smash. But overall, I thought she was really neat. I enjoyed just messing around with her and thought she was fun. Oh, she also has really good aerials. Her Nair is literally just Cloud's Nair from Smash 4, so it's insane. And depending on what arm you have equipped to her, on her right arm that can change, it changes the speed of her Nair, so you can have the light arm and have a really quick like Cloud Nair, or you can have the heavy Wrecking Ball arm and have a slower, more powerful Nair, both of which or pretty much all variations are really good. She also has a really good up tilt. It's kind of just like Mario's up air, excuse me. It's like Mario's. And then she has like kind of like a Sonic like meteor down tilt, or like Zero Suit Samus's like, or down air, excuse me. Besides that though, her stage seemed pretty cool. I wish it was tournament legal. It's not. It has like too much going on it, but good music. I like the ARMS music, and also it looks pretty cool. Also, they buffed a lot of characters in this patch, which is really neat. They buffed like Meta Knight, and people are saying he might be good. Not broken good like Brawl, but like actually better now. They buffed Kirby, they buffed Incineroar, they buffed Pit, they buffed Marth, they buffed Corrin, they buffed Bayonetta. Again, not broken Bayonetta, but might be more viable. That pretty much like a bunch of buffs all across the board. Even like really weird characters like K. Rool got buffed, King DDD got buffed, and
it's funny because isn't King K. Rool still like a broken character?
He's got the shenanigans with like his belly and all the armor, and apparently they made his belly better, and like his side B where he throws the crown has a ton of armor on it now, so like he literally can just get away with that for free. It's kind of ridiculous, yeah. And there were like 2 minor nerfs. I think one was for Ike, which is random as hell because Ike's not really like a meta character, honestly. I forget the other nerf. I think it was for like Pikachu or maybe someone like more appropriate of a nerf. But yeah, mostly just buffs. And I'm really okay with that. Like, I think that's what they need to do for Ultimate. They just need to make all the characters really good. Yeah,
just like to help balance the game, I think it can't just be nerfs. Like buffs. I think it's funny because like I play Hearthstone, and it's an online card game. So they, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, where they would just have to where they would just have to like just ban a card or something. Or obviously there have been erratas over the years, which I'm not really a fan of. But like basically with modern stuff, you can just update it and change the card in Hearthstone. So they can actually like if a card's too good, they nerf it. And there have been some times recently where they've been buffing cards that do not see play, and I think that's a great way to balance it. So especially with something like Smash Bros, where they can actually like buff and nerf characters, I think that it's great that it's not just them nerfing them. You know, hey, like this character's not seeing play, let's make it a little better, you know. And I think that's awesome.
Oh, I also just remembered looking at our news articles here. They did buff both the Villager and Isabel, which I think is great because those characters like see no play, and I think they're really good. But yeah, that I agree. I'm all for just more buffs, less nerfs. Nerf like some dumb like instant combos or instant KOs, but yeah, just overall just buff more characters that need buffs. So I think it was a really good patch. I enjoy it, and I like Min Min. I think she's cool, as well as all the Mii costumes. Although I'm gonna be honest, I haven't bought a single Mii costume. I think Sans is neat. I think the Vault Boy is really cool, and Cuphead. But I mentioned this last week how Mii Gunner mains have it all made, and they do. But yeah, I have no reason to really buy any of that stuff. You know, I really never have touched the Mii characters. But yeah, that was cool. While I was while I went to Columbus, Ohio, I was planning on maybe catching up on anime or playing some more video games. Like I said, I didn't really have time to do that. I thought I wasn't gonna actually go to the event that my girlfriend was attending, but she's like, "Oh, you can come." Like the people invited me, so I'm like, "Oh, well, I'll just go do that instead." But very briefly, I got to play maybe 20-30 minutes of Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour. I got the full title here, in case any of you guys needed to know. But I actually was eyeballing this game up for a while. This is, I would say, probably the best Duke Nukem game. It's, you know, in the style, the classic, like, 90s, early 2000s, like, old school first-person shooter games, like exploring levels, finding secrets, stuff like that, kind of like Doom or Quake. And I always wanted to play this game. I never played Duke Nukem 3D. I actually bought this game on Steam when it went on sale a few months ago, or, you know, there's always Steam sales. But then I just saw it launched on Switch, and it was on sale on Switch. It's $10 normally. It's half off. It was $5. I couldn't pass that up. I'm like, I'm just going to buy it on Switch. I'll play it on Switch. Like I said, only played it for about 20 minutes. I actually was having a lot of trouble with it. It was a little difficult. I had to turn down the difficulty, but overall, really fun. They actually got, oh god, I forget the James Earl, the guy who does Duke Nukem's voice. I forget his name, but he re-recorded all the lines so they're nice and smooth and crisp.
Wait, James Earl Jones? The guy who does Darth Vader and Mufasa?
Nope, that's not it. See,
okay,
that's completely wrong. I forget the guy who voices Duke Nukem. I can look it up quick. Yeah, but yeah, they got the guy who voices him to do all the lines again. But you can also there's a bunch of different features in there, so you can actually go back and put the original pixelated type voices in there if you want that. Hang on, I'm trying to find his name here. But it was fun. I actually, I get what Duke Nukem is supposed to be. It's like a parody type action movie character. I think it's silly and goofy. I enjoyed I pretty much got through the first level, and then I had to go, but I enjoyed my time in there. Where the heck? I'm at the Duke Nukem. I'm trying to find what. I should just Googled voice actor. Here we go. It is, if anyone need to know, John St. John. There we go.
Okay, that's not. I heard James Earl, and I'm like,
No. That's just me being a dumbass. Last but not least, probably the most the most interesting thing I played is I played more of that there Last of Us Part 2. So, last week I really didn't get too deep into the game. Now I actually got a little deeper into the game, and it's more of a video game. I got into the core loop of what you do in this game, and it's actually a lot of fun. So, you guys will see this in the upcoming parts on the Let's Play, I assume, where I got to this part where Ellie and her friend are entering this closed-off area of, I believe, Seattle, Washington. And basically, you're just playing each step. You have to first get into the city. There's, these huge walls around the border of it because, of course, there was this horrible zombie apocalypse. I just want to say, playing this, too, it's really, surreal because there's so much stuff in place where I'm yeah, with what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, I could see stuff like this playing out. And it's sometimes it makes me feel, really sad, but I'm oh, It's okay. It's just a video game, Corey. Keep moving. Keep moving.
All I was gonna say is it's not like it's not like the coronavirus. I mean, yes, people have died, but it's not like it's creating zombies. Then we'd be a little bit a different pickle. I'll tell you that.
Right. I think the thing that just makes me sad is I'm like, yeah, I could see it going down like this. Like it's believable. But yeah, there's like this whole part where like Ellie, you play as Ellie, you know, breaking in essentially to this wall, opening up this gate, and there's kind of like a puzzle sequence to that. And then once you get past that, there's kind of this really cool, beautiful, almost like small open world area where it's like, here's like a little section of downtown Seattle, and it's kind of big. Like you have a lot of different houses and buildings you can go into and kind of like loot. Like some had materials, some had literally just upgrades for your character. It almost was giving me like a Metroid or Castlevania type vibe because this was all optional content. It wasn't like, it was just an open world, and it's like you can go to this building, but there's also like 12 other buildings, you know, you can go explore. And it was really cool, like going through there, checking out each area. You know, some have enemy like the infected or clickers in them. Some are just, hey, there's a puzzle here, like try to figure out what you got to do to get into this room and get more crafting materials or get more upgrade materials, you know. And it was really fun. I was really digging it. And I actually went through this whole like mini area. I assume there might be more of these because The Last of Us generally has been pretty linear, like the first one. So it was really cool to see this kind of like mini open world area. And I think I even said in the Let's Play, it was giving me some slight Breath of the Wild vibes, but not as much as Breath of the Wild. But I think it was just because there's like this big like grassy area and you're like horseback. So it's kind of like, I feel like my brain has seen this before and it goes to Breath of the Wild, but it's not really like that. But it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And I really like what they're doing with the story. There's a good moment that happens relatively soon in the Let's Play, which kind of is like, yeah, this is kind of what the game's about. But overall, I'm really enjoying that game and very excited to play more of it.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions? I kind of was just rambling there.
I hate to be I hate to not contribute really, but no, I really don't. I'm kind of just looking forward to seeing more gameplay. Like I said, like if you uploaded the most recent video, I can't wait to go watch it.
Oh no, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, everyone should look forward to that. That game is it's very good. But with that being said, that's going to do it for my week, and that's going to do it for the podcast. Do we have any questions, Mike?
Not that I know of.
Not this week.
Unfortunately, I didn't post anything on Instagram. I kind of forgot. Again, I'm sorry. It's been a little preoccupied.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. You know, we'll get some next week. It's no big deal. But before we go, I do want to say, don't forget to go subscribe to our Let's Play channel, Level With Me. Maybe you're listening to the podcast on Level With Me. I don't know, but make sure you check out all the videos I mentioned. Like I said, I'm going to have more Luigi's Mansion 3 coming up, and as well as more Last of Us and Remnant. Some point, Mike and me will sit down and record Luigi's Mansion 3 and Metroid Zero Mission, and hopefully you can get some Subnautica Arctic. What's the sequel called? I always forget.
Below Zero.
Below Zero. I was almost going to say Absolute Zero. I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Nah.
But yeah, look forward to that kind of stuff. You can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at GameBroCorey. I also have a Twitch and YouTube, although my Twitch and YouTube have been pretty vacant over the past few weeks. I kind of don't know. I have some ideas of games I want to stream. I was even just watching a trailer for like new content coming to Fallout 76, and I'm like, I kind of want to go back to that game because I didn't really get to complete it. I kind of just stopped and did other stuff. But I kind of want to get back into Twitch. I was also thinking about streaming some like Call of Duty Warzone, maybe even just Smash matches online. I don't know. So check me out on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, GameBroCorey. What about you, Mike?
I'm very happy for all the listeners who are joining us today. Please check out our YouTube. It's still very young in infancy, but we have a lot of Let's Plays, starting up. Corey's hours have been a lot more active than I have, so I'm falling behind here. But he has a lot of good Let's Plays on there. We have a nice little variety. If you guys ever want to hear more from me, I'm starting to make some more videos again from my own little channel. It's Mike. Well, the channel is the Collector's Vault. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube. And that's basically all I really had to say.
Also, if you want to send us a question, you can do so by emailing us at levelwithmepodcast@gmail.com. Also, before we record these, usually on Monday, we don't record on Wednesdays normally. Mike will usually put up a thing on Instagram where you can just type in questions and, whoever submits them will get a shout out. I should honestly do the same thing. But yeah, you can go through with that if that's easier for you.
Yeah. Yeah, to help you guys out, we'll definitely give you guys a shout out if you want to contribute to the podcast and just ask us anything. It could be anything, obviously gaming related, movie related, collectible related, or as Corey has mentioned many times, you can ask us what our favorite pizza topping is, and we'll be happy to answer that.
You can even keep it topical. Ask us about travel. If we've traveled any places. What are some of our favorite spots we've been to? I don't know. It can be about anything. It doesn't have to have a specific topic. It's just let it be loose and fun.
Yeah, we just want to hear from you guys.
Also, real quick, I just wanted to shout out my friend Abra's channel again. That's Loudstone Entertainment. He's been uploading a bunch of gameplay videos. I know he just started a Let's Play for Battlefront 2, like the single-player mode, which is actually pretty good. Also, there's our Let's Play of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and a bunch of other cool content over there. So go check that out. That is Loudstone Entertainment. But with that being said, I think we're done here. Before we go, I just want to ask my friend here, Hank Hill, if he has any comments to say about video games. You got anything you want to say, Hank? How do you use this thing? Is this on? My favorite video game is Propane
Simulator. Bobby, how do you work this?
Did you ever see that episode where he plays like that GTA clone and gets like super addicted? What?
No, I didn't. That's actually a show I really should watch.
Oh, okay.
I have to watch more of that show.
I don't know if I've seen every episode. I used to just watch a lot of it on like TBS or Adult Swim or whatever. But yeah, there's like an episode where he actually gets into like video games, and it's like you play as literally like a very buff like Hank Hill, and like oh my god, I gotta look up the name of the game. It's like, I feel like it's got propane in it or something. It's almost like some character creates like a video game version of like Hank Hill, and it's like really funny. I gotta look it up right now. Bear with me here.
GTA 6 Propane.
Oh, it's just called Propane, like 2 words, like PROPAIN. That's fucking great. I love it. You should go look up Hank Hill like playing it. There's like one point where he like kills someone and he's like, "Oh my god, where's the button to turn myself in?"
I think I have heard that before. Does I see?
On that note, good night, everybody. See you next week.
All right, night, everybody. See you next time.